Welcome to ESC Fan TV. This is our very first live show.
Let's find out who wins the Eurovision Song Contest 2025!
Switzerland! The viewers all over the world have awarded you 0 points.
My goodness, I cannot take this anymore.
Austria, you can still win if the audience awarded you at least 100 points.
You have received 178 points!
Hello, it has just gone past 8 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. You are watching ESC Fan TV.
Yay!
Hello!
We have a panel of wonderful guests ready to take us through Eurovision 2025 and look at some ESC Fan TV memories as well. Now, no show would be complete. No show as big as this would be complete without my co-host of so many years. It's Stu.
Hello, Tom. Funny to see you here. It's so weird. 6 years we've been doing this. Can you believe it? 6 whole years.
6.5, according to Sean. I mean, I've been monitoring it. I mean, when the show first started, my hairline was about here. I mean, it's just gone back.
I was a lot slimmer when we started doing this as well. Let me just say, I barely got into this today. It's clever lighting, is what it is.
Also joining us, we've got Donna and Ian.
Oh, hello. Oh dear, I know what you mean, Stu. I've kind of put on a few pounds since the beginning when we first joined in. But...
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting back in the suit I wore in some of those shows.
But it's great to be here now.
Also joining us, we have, dressed in those lovely pink sparkles, and the architect of our superb intro today. It's the lovely Sean.
How do? Yeah, it looks fastened, but trust me, from here downwards, where the belly is, no, I wore this last year at the after party. No, it doesn't go anywhere near at the minute, so... But thanks for having me back. Shame it's our last show. All good things come to an end, but it's going to be a good one.
It is. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. And of course, no fantastic show is without ESC Fan TV's golden couple. It's Phil and Michelle.
Is it us?
I think it's us. Hello, yeah.
Right, my dress still fits me. There's no give in this, it's pure cotton.
So many comments and so little time. Also joining us, we've got the lovely Eline as well, all the way from Belgium.
Yes, hello. I feel like I'm the only outsider of, of the UK right now, because I am.
Oh, yeah, but we're here to support Belgium just as much. Now, normally there is another panelist who kind of lurks around, but unfortunately, they can't be here tonight. So they sent me this.
Hello, hi everyone, Elliot here. Sorry I cannot be there tonight on the show. I am sadly stuck at work the joys of being a grown-up. But I just wanted to quickly say thank you to all the panellists and all the viewers for the last 6 years since I've been part of ESC Fan TV. Never thought I'd be able to get to do things that I did, leading shows, running shows, producing shows, interviewing people such as Destiny, Laurel Barker, the list goes on. It's been a wild and wonderful ride. I've loved it so much, and me and my awful music taste will probably see you somewhere very, very soon. And in an ideal world, you'll hopefully see me in a green room drinking anything that is not nailed down in Austria 2026, because that is the current goal and aim of me as a songwriter, not a singer. I can't sing for shit. But that is all. I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye for now, guys. Mwah.
Hey, the lovely Elliot, everyone. See, I told you there were surprises. They just keep on coming. Right, guys, what we're here for, obviously, alongside the surprises, is to do an autopsy of the event that was Eurovision 2025. We already know that Austria walked away with the crown, but what I'm interested in from the panel is, who else do we think were the winners of 2025? And I'm going to go straight over to Donna and Ian.
You will when I find the mute button. Nothing changes, does it? Hey.
Something's never changed.
Someone had to do it. I'll just get out of the way early. I'll let you go first, honestly.
Yeah. Denmark qualifying, I think. That was great because they've had a fortunate run. Who else? It was good to see some of the songs like Italy coming through. A lot of songs that people had maybe not got the great support in advance, weren't the big fan favourites.
Oh.
So for me, it's Italy, Portugal as well. So yeah, I think.
So you spotted the ballads a lot.
It's the ones that are the big fan favourites that they don't get the big noise beforehand, then they go, that's in the top 10. And UK with top 10 with the juries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the result.
Yeah, that was a big surprise, and we were all a bit gobsmacked in the arena at the time where the points were being announced. So we'll take top 10, even though we knew we were going to slide way down the table again. It's like we're almost sixth at one point, I believe. So I needed a drink at that stage. It was amazing. I think actually, although San Marino really didn't look as good on the telly, I was really happy for them even to get to the final, because I knew if the staging was wrong, it wouldn't work. And this is the first time in a long time that they've been able to get through to the final. So, it's a win for them anyway, even if they were last. Who else we got? Oh, gosh. So many good ones. I think Greece. Greece was a big outstander for me as well. I loved that staging from the start, and she was flawless vocally. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick you up on one thing because it was something that came out of the ESC Fan TV semi-final 1 prediction poll, which, as we know, was highly not accurate. Where Portugal got a grand total of 0. That's 0. In our poll. So come on, guys, who here had Portugal down as a qualifier?
Yeah, I said it in the semi-review that Portugal will qualify.
There's always got to be one, isn't there? Please see it qualify, Michelle.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No, it was dog shit. I thought it would come last.
I think Ian, if he'd have been on the show, would have said it probably might have. That's as close as we would have got.
I wanted it to qualify, but I really wasn't convinced it would.
Yes, yeah. That was the shock qualifier, I think, for me, definitely.
I think you can probably throw Lithuania into that same basket.
Oh, absolutely.
No. Lithuania were always going to qualify, and I did say that they would qualify. Look back on it. All I said was he needed to make eye contact with the camera, and he needed a cuddle, and he would be fine.
And Michelle was there to provide that cuddle. That's all.
No, I don't want him. I'm not touching strangers again.
Again.
I touched a Jedward while I was in.
Yeah, but
while we were there.
They
I
took
did
out
touch
a
a Jedward.
restraining order against you, though, now, Michelle.
Yeah.
You know.
Does anybody want to touch my hair? And we were like, yes, because
I mean,
we were all shit-faced and middle-aged.
Let's pick up on Lithuania. Stu, Lithuania. Did it make it into your qualifiers?
Yeah, I did, absolutely. It was one of those songs which you could see was going to do really well. Look, Lithuania always qualify, right? They've got a load of diaspora votes around Europe. They're always going to get votes. But I'm surprised how poorly they did in the final. But I was absolutely sure they were going to qualify. It's a great song. I mean, it was, dare I say it, a bit British in its style. You know, I don't know what Michelle thinks and Phil, but it took me back to kind of Britpop, that kind of style from many years ago. I used to love that kind of music. And yeah, this was in my top 10 in the final. I think it finished 16th overall, so not everybody's, but yeah, I was quite impressed by it, really. Good song. And I'm not surprised by Portugal. I think people are loving that vibe. You know, we talked about, you know, 5-6 years ago when we started this, and you know, in 2018 we had the Portuguese winner, you know, and 2017, sorry, had a Portuguese winner, and from that point on, Portugal have done pretty well. You know, they had do you remember the Black Mamas from a few years ago? What a tune that was! They've been doing well consistently now. People are picking up on that vibe from Portugal, so not a real shock to me. There were some shocks though, but those two were not.
I think Lithuania is more grunge than Britpop. I'd put it more grungy.
Is that what the youth call it? Is it the grunge?
No, nobody's called anything grunge for 20 years. It's more like Nirvana-y, that sort of, you know, sort of head down, looking a bit miserable with your long hair going, oh, mum and dad, I hate you, you bastards. That sort of thing.
I think the thing with it, though, is it's not your standard Eurovision fodder, which is probably why it did well. It's something new and all right, it's not new maybe in the world of music, but it's sort of newish to Eurovision and it's refreshing in Eurovision. And I think we need more of that.
I say one country I do think that hasn't been mentioned as a winner of Eurovision this year, which has been left in the cold so far, is Armenia, which I may have been championing a lot because he actually qualified. He might have scraped through, like literally by his fingernails, into the out of the semi-final into the final in 10th place. But Survivor survived. And I was really pleased to see that because I thought, in actual fact, you know, there should be more acts like that. You know, people running around on treadmills on Eurovision, topless with you know, things on. Alina, who were your winners of this year?
And I think that's a hard question because my winners were like not on the show. Like Denmark, I always knew that she was going to qualify for the final, so I'm like, yeah. I mean, that was expected. But I have a lot of growers the last week of Eurovision, like Greece grew a lot on me. But yeah, I was just in shock by something else, and I did not really recover from that during Eurovision. But that's for another topic, I think, maybe.
Yeah, well, we will definitely come on to that. Stu, I can't help but notice our chat room is like literally alive and beating. What's going on in the chat room?
There's a lot of activity. It's a hive of activity this evening, Tom. There's loads of love for Armenia. So there's a friendly face from the past. Hello, Nicholas. Good to see you back on the show. Armenia is the perfect example that you can qualify with any crap as long as you look good and half naked doing it. Amen to that, brother. Dan says, I love the Lithuanian track. It reminded me so much of Nirvana or Radiohead, pure British rock pop. So, yeah, agreeing with you on that style there, Michelle. Armenia had a fantastic staging from Tracy. We got a comment up here. Where is it? I can't find it. From Dom. It said something like, I can't believe the show's ending. Where do I take my innuendos? And James has just replied with, Dom, you can play with my innuendo any day. There you go. Not just Eurovision. We're also matchmaking.com. Back to you, Tom.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Stu.
Can I just say, Tom,
Armenia, I was coming to you anyway, Sean.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was just going to throw a penny in with Armenia. The camera work was insane. On the production values of the staging of the Armenian song lifted it to another level. It was utterly fantastic.
And were there any other winners there for you?
Yeah, why people not talk about Albania? I mean, what a cracking song! I mean, it was kind of dark, but it was like a mix between Albanian folklore and electronic music. I just think that was a real surprise for me because I didn't really give it the time of day listening to the studio versions of the song. But when it came to the stage performance, the live TV production on it, I loved it. Well deserved to finish 8th. Really like Albania's song. Yeah.
I think Sean's right. Albania really did stand out when you saw it live. It was bloody brilliant. And when we first started the show, Albania was 80p a pint to go there for Eurovision. I would like to now tell you that it's now £1.68 a pint. That's how far we've come in 6 years.
Yeah, but you'd still like them to win, Michelle, because that's still, £3.
Yes.
Cheaper than most
Cheaper than Switzerland, yeah.
Yes, I would. And I was telling everyone to vote Armenia, but everyone's a bastard and doesn't
Albania,
listen.
you mean?
Albania. Nobody listens. Why don't we all just block vote Albania and get a cheap Eurovision? Nobody's interested.
Oh, maybe one day, Michelle. Guys, you are watching ESC Fan TV. We are going to be back with another roundup of losers. But in the meantime, must be time for another surprise. Let's say hello to this stranger.
Hi Tom, hi Stuart, and hi to everyone else who might be watching this. Despite it being a few years ago since I was last part of ESC Fan TV, it still very much holds a place in my heart. Despite being a Eurovision fan ever since I was a kid, I really do think that the years where I did ESC Fan TV were some of the most fun years that I've had in this fandom. It really introduced me to the fandom as a whole, and I was able to meet so many lovely people and get the chance to just have fun and talk about Eurovision all the time. Especially during the pandemic, it was so nice for me in particular to have an outlet, to have some people to talk to have fun with, and to make these shows. It really got me through the pandemic in a big way. And despite it, like I said, being a few years since I was last part of this show, I've always loved and cherished it, even still after I left. I've checked in a few times, and it's been lovely to see the show continue to become what it was always meant to be. Not so serious, not so professional like I maybe wanted it to be, but just a fun outlet for Eurovision fans to talk and have fun. We'll see what the future brings. I look forward to see what you will be up to after ESC Fan TV is over. And hopefully soon, maybe next year, we will actually meet in person for a Eurovision event. I will be looking forward to that for sure, if it does happen.
Hey, thanks, Nicholas. See, bringing out all these blasts from the past this evening. Right, guys, we move on. We've looked at some of the winners. But alas, when we look at winners, we also have to look at losers. And there are a few there. I'm just going to give the panel some inspiration here. Obviously, Eline, we have the lovely Red Sebastian, Belgium strobe lights coming in there at 23 points, although Azerbaijan only mustered 7. Obviously, how much time do we have left together? Slovenia gets in at 23 points as well. Cyprus failed to qualify. Australia, 2 years on the trot now, not qualifying. Ireland left out in the cold after their successes last year. And then, just to pull up the final table, I'm going to throw in Spain there. As maybe some inspiration for people to talk about, because they were well hyped before the contest and only mustered up to 24th place. And also poor Malta, all that controversy and only 17th. Panel, let's go to Eline. What can Belgium do to qualify next year?
Have juries back in the semi-final. I think that is our biggest issue. I think because we did something new this year, like we tried something totally different. And oh, my serious now. Something weird. I don't
Ik
know.
kan daar helaas niets over vinden.
Oh yeah.
I want to work with computers. I'm going on mute. I'm going on mute.
We'll let Alina just sort out her tech problems briefly. I'll go to Phil and Michelle.
I'd just like to say about Red Sebastian. We watched the preview night the night before, and saw them on stage, and it looked really disjointed from when you were watching it.
Yeah.
It seemed to take too long for the staging to get going, and by the time it got going and something was happening, I think it had already disengaged with the audience. But then the night after, when we watched it in the semi-final on the TV to see how it looked exactly the same. It just took too long to get going before other people sort of joined in. There was no sort of staging for the first minute. It was just him sort of not doing really a lot before everyone else joined in. And I think if they kicked the staging off earlier on, it would have engaged with people better. But I think people had just sort of got a bit fed up by the time anything really happened. I'm sorry, because I like the song, but
yeah, I did. But
it didn't look
I
good.
think the staging let it down really, which was a shame.
Alina, dare you attempt your microphone again?
I think it's fine now. I can't work with computers. But the thing is, yeah, we were just all in shock because I think this was also the first song that Belgium really was standing after, because we were always like, yeah, we don't care about Eurovision. But now we were like, as a Flemish part of Belgium, we were like, yeah, this is Belgium, this is Eurovision. And it's a shame that we then don't go to the final. But we are all very proud of what he did, and we loved the staging, we loved everything. And it's just a shame that it did happen on his birthday. That was a little bit sour. But I'm also very happy that our competition, Cyprus, wasn't through. I was like, yeah, if we're not through, you're not through. Take that. But yeah, otherwise the other ones that did not qualify, like Ireland, like Australia, I was a little bit in shock. But then again, maybe the first impression wasn't enough. Like, to be honest, Ireland sang or about a dead dog, and I can remember saying, Michelle, like, yeah, it's about a dead dog. The dog is dead. Like, don't make a song about it. So then I was like, okay, first impressions are important, even though we are partying and dancing on the songs like months before. So yeah.
Oh, let's go to Sean as well. I mean, obviously Australia have failed to qualify twice now. Do you reckon we're going to be seeing them back next year?
I really hope so. I think they bring something different to the competition. But realistically, I don't know. It's a massive expense, probably a bigger expense for them than any other country really to partake due to the distances involved. I don't know. I hope so. Milkshake Man, what a fun song. The staging was awful, unfortunately. That big blender idea didn't work. If it was just him, you could really buy into Gojo. You could really buy, we saw him in Amsterdam performing, and he was just running about the stage, throwing himself around. And if it was more about him than that stupid bloody blender, I think they might have had a chance of getting through. So hopefully Australia will be back. One I'm absolutely gutted for, though. Semi-final one, my absolute favourite was in this. And it crashed out with 7 points in last place, was Azerbaijan. I love Azerbaijan's song Run With You. Again, the studio version of it. But there was something really very weird about his live vocal. If you strip it out, someone put it on TikTok the other day and I saw it. They took all the music out and you play it back and it is bloody horrendous. And it's such a shame. It is a real shame. But the studio recording of the song, it's great. I thought the staging was great for the song. The three dancers kind of like, moving backwards and up and down that platform behind them and the camera work going around. It was a bit Daft Punkish. There was something really smart and cool about that staging, and I loved the staging, but his vocal was just all over the place, absolutely all over the place. Another one I'm gutted about as well is Slovenia. How much time do we have left? An absolutely beautiful song. He's got a really nice voice. Yeah, gutted about that one as well.
Yeah, do you know what? Slovenia is the one where his wife came on stage at the end, and I just thought they should have made more of that. And I think if they'd have made more of that in terms of how they'd kind of staged it, I think it might have had more impact.
Yeah, telling the
I thought they went for an understated impact, but because it was an understated song, they needed the overstated impact of that, I thought, to kind of balance that out.
Yeah.
And
Tom, can I just say something about how much time do we have together?
Yeah, go on.
Right, because this is the last show, so we can all just say what we think, can't we?
Yeah.
So was anyone else a bit annoyed when they found out that his wife was still alive?
You're not the only one there, Michelle. Obviously, yeah.
No, it's not that. It's just that when I listened to the song, he says she gained her wings and all that, and I thought when I watched it on the preview, I was nearly crying in the arena. I was going, "Oh my god!" It was so emotional and so touching. Honestly, because I didn't like it beforehand, and it really touched me. And then she popped on at the end. What the hell's this? Phil went, "It's his wife." I went, "But she's dead." Because he said she's gained her wings. She's not bloody dead. Why is he singing about her being dead? And she's not.
It's not a documentary, you know.
I was a bit annoyed that she turned up at the end.
The thing I think with this song was just a little bit weird was when they hung him upside down. And I know they were like,
your life's turned upside down.
Yeah, I know they're trying to make a point, but I just don't think it worked. I think it just looked weird.
I don't think you should be singing about your wife as if she's died when she's not.
It looks fine in Australia, Phil.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Until Michelle ruined it. But it's true. I was tearing up, and then I was annoyed.
I did cry. I did cry a lot.
No, I'm glad she's not dead. But he could have changed the words so that it was like, "I'm so glad that she's not died," and and everything.
But, it doesn't have to be like 100% factual.
Well, I don't know.
Should we just move on? Let's just move on.
Are we all glad this is the last show?
Let's just go to Donna and Ian. I mean, let's talk about Spain briefly, because I know there's a couple of comments that have been flashed up about Spain.
Okay.
I tell you what, they clearly want to win the contest again, don't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, personally, I loved Melody's song. It's a song I have had on repeat. I think musically it hits all the right notes and stuff. What went wrong?
Personally, I think on the telly, I thought she looked too aggressive. She ticked all the right boxes generally. Her choreography was good. I thought the actual staging looked fine. It was paced well. But I mean, I was more impressed that you didn't see off stage the actual microphone throw that she throws at the dancer, who has to try and catch it from like meters away, and he fucked it up on the first semi-final. You can just see him on the corner trying to scramble and grab it. But I thought it was well, but to me, she just sounded like another woman sort of shouting at me. A song. Yeah, that was the thing that didn't really work for me. And there's a fine balance, I find, between like a powerful vocal and someone who just cooks it a little bit too far. And that's what it came across to me when I watched it back on the TV, how it felt.
Yeah, I think this is another classic of don't always believe the fan hype in advance, and why Eurovision fans are always really bad judges of what's going to do well. I think this appealed to Eurovision fans more than the general public. I think that's where people got kind of a bit surprised why it didn't do so well. For me, it felt a little bit dated, something that would have been in Eurovision a few years ago. Look, I like the song, but I think it doesn't quite. Something made it not land with the general public. And I
feel like you're almost describing me, Ian. A bit dated, overhyped.
and not landing with the general public.
Yeah, not landing
Well,
with the general public.
There's a lot to do with timing, Tom.
Yeah, but I mean, Sean mentioned Azerbaijan as well. I think if they just let them be a band on stage, it'd have worked much better. It's they overfussed it.
There's no getting away from a particular style of vocal, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Emmy. Her vocal is a very specific style, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's that, really.
But with Emmy, she speaks how she sings. Have you ever talked to her? She does that high-pitched, cartoony voice. That's actually how she speaks as well. It's weird. It's really weird. She's a lovely lady, but bizarre.
Yeah, it's definitely a sound that you either love it or you hate it, don't you? And that's how I felt about Lena in 2010, wasn't it, when they won for Germany? And I thought, no, this nails down a chalkboard. You know what I mean? And it's only like now that I can sort of appreciate it a bit better. But yeah, no, I don't know. Does Spain need to rein it back in? Do they need to be a little bit more? I don't know. They've already tried going a bit more ethnical, haven't they? And that didn't kind of work. I don't know. Where do you go from there?
I think Spain just need to do something different because they seem to sing the same sort of song all the time.
It's just a woman, wearing hardly anything, singing the same sort of song but shouting.
And I think Spain they need to do something different. Because there are different songs, there's different styles of songs.
Different sort of genres, maybe go more Spanish than what they think Eurovision wants. Send something that they want. It's worked for Portugal. Portugal sent something that we all hated, but the Portuguese public loved it.
Yeah.
So why not go down that route?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're on about.
I get the feeling maybe Spain tries to send a song for Eurovision.
Yes.
Whereas Portugal just sends a Portuguese song to Eurovision.
Yeah.
I think Albania do that as well.
Yeah. Albania said,
Albania send an Albanian song,
Yeah.
and it always does well. Lithuania do it as well. Send a Lithuanian song, and it does well.
Yeah.
So why not go down that route?
Yeah, I mean, we in the UK are guilty of that as well. We send we send a Eurovision song.
We sent
and wonder why it doesn't do well.
We sent a trio of girls with beautiful voices that sang a song that the people above thought would be good for Eurovision, when in reality they should have sent a country and western song because that's their genre and that's what they sing and it's what they know. So we're guilty more than anybody of it.
And I think again that's why Ireland didn't do well. They sent this year it was a Eurovision style song, whereas last year they definitely didn't, and they did really well with it.
Yeah, and then they went back to their safe zone, and it's it's not worked.
Well, not quite their safe zone. They could have sent Samantha Mumba, I suppose. Stu, let's bring you into this as well. Round up the chat room for us and let us know what your thoughts are as well.
Well, we've got a lot of activity. So looks like we've got some Albanian fans in tonight, bigging up the Albanian entry this year. Not a lot for Spain. I think the Spanish song, the Danish song, the UK song, the Belgium song, and many others all suffer from the same thing. Good songs presented really poorly every single year. And it's not necessarily a case of, big staging is better. Sometimes you have to kind of get the balance right. And I just think there's always something wrong. What wins Eurovision? Great song, great performer, great staging. Three things, right? Usually it's those three things. Unfortunately, those countries always get one of them. The other two are always wrong. And it's not necessarily their fault. It could be camera angles. It could be a number of things. But it's the way it is. Until they get all three things right, they're out of the game. And they also, some of these countries don't have the diaspora votes that others do. So here's what it is. The chat room. So Matt says he preferred the Spanish song in Benidorm Fest. What else have we got? Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of love for... James says, "Hey Elliot, miss you, baby." Oh, he's a right tart, that James, isn't he? What else we got? What else we got? Lee says, "Spain is Spain like the UK is the UK. Most of the time, we'll both send SH star." And Martin, great to see Martin, by the way. Big up Martin. Martin did the first ever ESC Fan TV along with Michelle and Ness. Martin says, "Female singer, power ballad in Spanish often gets top 10. There you go. Back to you.
Oh, and bless Lee, he still thinks it's a family-friendly show. Right, okay. You are watching ESC Fan TV. We will be back momentarily after this.
Hi Stu and Tom, just a quick message to say thank you for all the years of ESC Fan TV. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of it from the beginning, and I've made some brilliant memories and some brilliant friends for life. Yeah, just thanks for everything, all the work that you put into it. Hopefully one day we'll all come back to it, but for now I'll go thirst over Daddy Mendes in private. Love you.
Hey, the lovely Mel, everyone.
Tom, can I just jump in just very quickly, because I'm conscious that she only mentioned myself and you and yourself there. Just wanted to say the last at least 1 year, maybe 2 years, Phil, Michelle, Sean, and many others have taken the reins of this show, where you and I were not able to do, and have done an absolute sterling job with it. Deserve all the credit that they must and should get. Thank you to all of you that have been involved in this show. Wouldn't have been able to do it without you. It's a very sad day, but I mean that from the bottom of my heart. The friendships I've made here will last a lifetime, long beyond this show. So thank you for everything. Back to you, Tom. Sorry for making you cry, Michelle.
Bless you, Michelle.
Stu, you were supposed to make me cry at the end. This was the thing. You're supposed to save the tears till the end.
I'll do it again at the end then.
Oh, great.
Hey, there we go. That's what it's about. Right, guys. Let's have a discussion about the UK, and let's bring in the juries on this as well. Should juries return in the semi-final? Should we overhaul the idea of voting at Eurovision? I mean, let's take a look at this. Here we have our rundown of public versus jury votes from this year. You can see poor Switzerland and the UK there hanging in there with just jury votes. What do we think? I'm going to have to pick someone who's not crying, so I'm going to go for Sean.
I'm crying on the inside. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it was an odd decision to take them out in the first place. You know, we've always had the jury final, and now it's, I don't know. I think the quality maybe of songs going into the grand final, since they took the juries out of the semis, has dropped a little bit. I'm going to say the I word. Would Israel have qualified if the juries had been in the semis? Probably because of the phone vote, but you know, I don't think they've got that many jury votes. But yeah, definitely so. I think they should bring the juries back and have a look at how the televoting works in the same time. So bring all the changes in at once, because the televote needs an overhaul as well, because 20 votes per person is ridiculous. Let's go down the junior Eurovision vote, where maybe they get you can vote for 3 countries. You have to vote for 3 separate songs, and I think that would even it out a little bit more.
It wasn't 20 votes per person. It was 20 votes per payment method as well.
Well, there you go. You know what I mean?
So a small number of people could certainly sway the vote. And so I think you're right. I mean, regardless, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I think the televote needs an upheaval.
I think the televote, you can have, I think what should happen is you can have 20 votes, but you can only use 5 votes per country. So then you're spreading the vote over 4 countries, and everyone's going to pick a different 4 countries, or maybe the same top one, but then a different 4. So then it's not going to be so one-sided, because you can only have 5 votes for them. And I think it'll get less zero public votes as well. It'll make it a bit more fairer.
Yeah, the public vote's always brutal, isn't it? When you see, you know, how many countries get loads of points, and then, you know, you sort of get like maybe the top 5 get a lot of points, and then everybody else gets a handful.
Yeah. So if you spread it like that by giving them 5 votes, and then it'll just spread the votes, and you'll get a more varied result.
I mean, the interesting thing is, if we take the elephant out of the room, in actual fact, I think most countries got more points lower down the list this year. So if you like, Ollie Alexander came 18th with 48 points last year. But remember, Monday got 19th place, but got 88 points. And so the points there seem to be a lot more disagreement on who actually should come first this year. Alina, do you reckon this system would help Belgium?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about the point system. I agree with Sean. I agree with Phil. But the thing is, I vote 20 times, but I split my vote into 3 countries. So for example, I think I voted 10 times on Sweden, and then I voted maybe 7 times on my second place, and then 3 times on my third place. So that's how I vote. But I think it's unfair that you can vote like 20 times per payment method, because I know people who did that, and I think it's so unfair. But then again, how can you check that? How can you verify that that happened? So I'm not sure about that. But I think something needs to change. A lot of things need to change. But yeah, that's Eurovision, and it will always be unfair, and it will always be political. That's just the way it is.
Also true. Donna and Ian?
Yeah, it's definitely not in a good place right now. I think perhaps both need looking at. The jury situation, I think, look at the amount of jurors as well that you have on the panel. Who you're having on the panel? Do you need a more demoscopic balance involved there? You know, which kind of industry professionals are you actually inviting? You know, it's an interesting one, and I would like to see them back in the semis. I think because I think it will bring a little bit more balance back. I mean, it's always difficult to judge whether they made such an impact or not when you've got such a distance between what the televote think is a good song and then what the juries think. I mean, look at Switzerland. I mean, for heck's sake, they got nothing from the public, and then they were second in the jury results in the final, and I'm like, that shouldn't be right. That shouldn't be how it works. But yeah, televote, I don't know what you do there. Do you actually restrict it? Do you rein it back in a bit so that you've got more control over, take away the online voting? Do you just leave it as a phone number? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
I think definitely jury's back in to the semis. It's part of the balance of it. Of the different, and it generally tends to work out quite well. It sort of reins in a bit the novelty end. It's about the balance. The televoting definitely seems to be too easy to influence it by design. It may be things going back to only having dial-up numbers, and you can only do that from a phone in that country, because that is relatively easy to do. The eSIMs make it harder, but also restricts less time to do it in. But yeah, having so many votes, if you target a country, the general people vote maybe 4 or 5 times for a couple of countries. But if you target it, you can then influence, which possibly what we've seen.
What about Ian? Is it possible to, instead of charging people to vote, because to be fair, the phone vote is massively under what you think it is. A lot less people actually do the phone vote than you think. So what do you think if you made it free and because they do it on like Britain's Got Talent and stuff, they know what your phone number is and you can only vote sort of once or twice or whatever from that. So what if they just did it like that? If you've used your phone to vote, you can't vote again. And then that takes out the multiple sort of things. I mean, the amount of people that are going to go and buy different SIMs or whatever surely is going to be quite low. Oh, Eline's got something to say.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, if you make the voting free, that a lot of people will vote pro and to make a point to countries that we don't want to win Eurovision, because it's free and they can make a statement about it, if you know what I mean. Like, a lot of people in Belgium did that just to make a statement. they pay
have an answer.
to
No.
make one country like very popular. So I think if you make voting free, that just will be out of control.
One thing they do in some of the national finals, like I know San Remo do, is they have they call it a demoscopic jury, where it's not industry professionals. It's like a cross section of people from different regions, different age groups, and they get a vote as well. So you get more of a balanced response. You know, it's not just motivated people doing it. I don't know if that would be an option.
But they see the motivated reason that they've got is different than our motivated reason. I think that's the issue, that the demographic thing still wouldn't work in that, because they're all still going to vote for the same one.
Well,
we're stuffed. We don't know. Eurovision was nearly ruined. It wasn't. Hopefully it will recover.
Yeah. The other tricky thing with this is any kind of tracing of votes and stuff has to happen in real time.
Yeah.
This is not something they can analyze afterwards. Any kind of procedures they put in place have to work in real time in that voting window.
And it's how long do you make the interval
and
then
the decision
for that?
made? Because the last thing you want is 2 days later going, actually, we found this. That wasn't the winner. Yeah, it's a tricky one. And every country has to be able to do this. It's not like, well, we could do this in the UK, Germany could do this. Like, everybody has to have a level playing field, which is, can't see that being an easy thing.
Stu, what are the chat rooms saying on this?
Put James's comment up. Put it all up.
It's an ideal time.
No, you can't vote via Grindr, James.
That'd be good. Swipe left, swipe right. That'd be brilliant.
How do you know how Grindr works?
I just heard people talking about it.
What did the chat room say? Well, that.
Fair enough. Keep it short and sweet. Right, okay. You are watching ESC Fan TV. We're going to go for another video message. And we know lots of us have contributed to ESC Fan TV over the years. Some people have sent messages in. These guys are a bit of a blast from the past. You might also see them somewhere else these days as well.
Hi, Tom and Stuart. It's Danny and Mark here. Hey. Our last night in Europe seemed like a fitting time to film you both a thank you video for everything that you've done for the community with ESC Fan TV. I can't believe it was, 2018 when you started. Yeah. Stuart, hanging out with you in Tel Aviv was great. And finally meeting Tom in Liverpool was a highlight. I think one of our favourite memories of being on a panel was probably 2019 Australia Decides. And yeah, being there with King George of Bankstown before he became famous. And it's just really sad that the time has come, but you've opened us up to amazing people, amazing friends. Yeah. So we just have to thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts. And don't be a stranger, either of you.
Hopefully we'll see you both soon.
Maybe in Austria. Okay. Bye.
Oh, thank you to Danny and Mark there. And also a big thanks to Elliot as well, because I had no idea these videos were actually existing until Elliot sent me a message about 2 hours ago and was like, can I just send you through this? And I was like, oh. And there's so much.
Can I just point out that King George of Australia, who we've all met, is an absolute knobend.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
But who knew? Who knew this show was going to make a celebrity, Michelle, eh?
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, my God, his head. He said to me, he went, no, was he in Italy, I think it was. He was going, no. Oh, I'm famous and I've got all this and I've got all that. And I said, look, I knew you before you had your first hair transplant. Now you're on your third now. No, it wasn't Liverpool, no. So he's a knobend. I'd just like to put that out there for everyone to hear and for posterity. You're a knobend, George.
for
That's why I'm
context,
still
for
in
those who
views.
don't know who we're talking, sorry, Phil. For context, for those who don't know what we're talking about, George, what was he? King George of Bankstown. Did I get that right, guys?
Yeah. Just not enough.
Yeah, he did Survivor Australia, and probably 3 times now. He is one of the biggest celebrities on TV in Australia right
Came
now.
second.
And yeah, and we're going to claim him because we found him first.
Yeah. And oh, what was it they called? They called him the
Bankstown cockroach.
The Bankstown cockroach on the TV program. The people he was against, because they could never kill him.
They could never get rid of him.
They could never get rid of him. He survived like a cockroach, and they called him the Bankstown cockroach.
Hi, Nicholas.
We have met many celebrities on this. Let's not forget Amelie, who was a panelist, had some songs in MGP as well, and also we even got some Eurovision artists to record some welcome messages. And I just think now would be a nice time to play this. Go on, let's have a look.
Hi everyone, it's Michael Rice here from the United Kingdom, and you're watching ESC Fan TV.
Oh, straight from 2019, when Stu and I first did some interviews at Eurovision in concert. Now, he didn't go on to win Eurovision, sadly, but Austria did. They topped it. See what I did there? Smooth link. Whee! I know. JJ came top of the poll for Austria. Eurovision is off to Austria next year. Guys, thoughts on the winning song? Let's start with Sean, because he took himself off mute first.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody? Did you get there on the button? Did you not do it? No? Never mind. Can't get the staff. Yeah, I really like the song. I love it. I love his voice. He's a really nice guy. Hey! He's a really nice guy as well. I think I bumped into him about 4 a.m. in the hotel in Amsterdam, and I bombarded him for a photograph, and he was like a little shocked to see someone still up at that time. But yeah, a great song. What a stunning vocal performance. My partner Ian was a bit unsure about it because he felt that the song suited if it was 2 people. Do you know what I mean? Because it just, it's rather the differences between these, the verses and the chorus when it goes all operatic is a big stark difference. But I think it works really well, and he performs it so well, and the camera work was great on the boat and stuff, and in the middle of the storm. Stunning song, really nice guy, and I'm chuffed to bits because I want to go to Austria next year. I'm going to make sure I go to Austria next year. They hosted the 60th Eurovision, which was my first Eurovision in 2015. It pissed it down all day, so I'm hoping it's Vienna. Well, all week. I'm hoping it's in Vienna again next year, and I hope it's fine so I can actually go out and see a bit of stuff.
Oh, fingers crossed for good weather.
Yeah.
I think that's talking about are they talking about the 14th of May, 16th of May, something like that.
I hope so.
Next year. Stu, let's get you involved in the conversation early. Austria.
Well, I didn't have this as the winner. I thought France were going to win. But I did say very early on, I thought it would be a ballad year. And does it qualify as a ballad? Austria? I guess it kind of does.
I think so.
Ballad, opera ballad. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I must admit, I really only took appreciation to it when I saw it live. I thought the staging was really good. He's a phenomenal singer. And but I think many people share this view, a bit too similar to last year, but actually when you see it live, you don't think of Nemo's song, you think of the authenticity of JJ's entry. It was really good, very well performed, beautifully sung, and the staging was just frankly epic. and came across as one of the best of the show in general. So I think it was a worthy winner. Absolutely. I was kind of hoping. It's funny. I don't necessarily think Albania should have won, but I was praying Albania would win because I'm desperate to get some sun. So we're going back to the cold and the wet and the rain, unfortunately. But as Sean says, he can go to basically what Sean is saying. He can spend all the time in the bar. That's what he's really saying. Never mind the tourism. He's not interested in tourism, people. He just wants to get drunk.
You can just take a bottle of vodka wherever you go. You don't have to be in the bar. Oh, where's Tom? We've lost him. Oh my gosh!
I mean,
Tom's gone. We can do anything.
Tom's gone. He's a bastard. I've never liked him. I'm glad he's gone.
Right.
Riddance.
What a twat.
Yeah. Oh no, they're still here. No, we love all you lot. Yeah, you're fab. So
I think we end. Did we end
Austria,
Tom?
Oh, Tommy will be back in a minute. So Austria, right, Sean? It's not going to be in Vienna because Innsbruck and oh god, there was another shit place. Graz came second to Vienna last time in the bidding process.
Right.
And Innsbruck came nowhere. But Innsbruck have held 2 Winter Olympics. So they're all set. You can have it there tomorrow and it's all set up.
Do you think they've got the stadiums, up the arenas?
Yeah, they did the Winter Olympics. A lot of that's not outdoors, you know.
Yeah, and in that stadium they've had music
It's like
concerts
skating
before, yeah.
and all that shit and everything. It's set up instantly for it. But I've been messaged by a mad woman that I met in
Basel.
In Basel, it was in a tent near us. Jesus,
yeah.
She's mental. She's probably watching tonight.
For people who don't know, we went to Basel and we stayed in a tent because the hotels were so expensive.
So Joanne reckons that there is Linz and Wells, which are towns next to each other, are doing a joint bid. So I've had a look, and they're building a great big arena that would fit everybody in, and they're only 15 minutes away from each other on a tram. So they could actually. So that's another one in the works. But the arena's not due to be finished until March next year. So would the EBU take a risk on having an arena that's not built, but Innsbruck could still hold it even if they were too late and they couldn't do it? Innsbruck could still nip in there and do it at a minute's notice without a doubt. But I don't think it would be in Vienna because they held it last time. It's definitely going to be somewhere else. And on that note, I do believe Tom is back.
Yay!
Come on! Yeah!
There we go. My laptop crashed. Clearly, it can't cope with the emotion of tonight because it's never crashed before, and it just kind of just
It's
died.
all right. We made stuff up and it was fine. We just said lovely things and all the memories about you that we loved while you were gone.
Oh,
I know, it's sad, Tom.
You liar.
And what did you really say?
Don't bother watching this back afterwards, Tom.
It's too sad. It's too sad, Tom. Don't watch it.
It's too sad.
Hang on. Right. Where did we get to, guys? Were you still
Austria,
discussing the winner?
Vienna, or wherever.
I liked it in the end. Do you know what? This year was the first year I couldn't actually pick a winner. People were asking me, "What's your winner? What's your winner?" And I was like, I'd just be happy if so many different songs won.
Wasn't it weird though that Sweden were the bookies' favourites all the way along, and they got it so wrong this year?
Yeah,
Did they though? Because Austria was second favourites.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that I did say when we were doing the reviews for the semi-final how shit Sweden was and that it wasn't going to win. And everyone went, you're just bitter and twisted because you're old and horrible. And I was right. Didn't win, came nowhere near.
I would have liked it to have won, but I didn't think it would. There's always that side of it that somebody would say, "Oh, it's a bit too gimmicky. I'm not into that," and writes it off immediately, regardless. But having watched it back actually on the TV, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the distance between props on stage or something. It didn't feel as intimate, or it worked as well on the camera. The dynamic didn't seem right.
I'll tell you what it is, Donna. And we were saying this not just about Sweden's song, but because we didn't go to Basel, we were here at home watching it on the big screen in the cinema room. Yeah. And there is a disconnect between the performance and the audience because they muted significantly muted the audience noise.
Yes.
So songs where you've got sing-along moments, like oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, where in Melody Festival Ireland, all the crowds getting behind the performers and the song and joining in, and that atmosphere doesn't come across on the TV in the Eurovision Grand Final when they took away the audience microphones.
Oh,
And I think
would you
that's
like
why it did do us good.
The audience microphones for the final. Here's an interesting little tidbit for you. We were in the stadium next door. They were using our crowd noise.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
They had all the mics out, and they were going, right now. You need to. And we were going, all right.
Yeah.
And they were using our crowd noise.
They got just a cheer.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can hear it in the semis, I think, as well. There's like a background noise on the speakers of piped in audience reaction.
We were, we were
in.
in the audience, and we were going, "What's that noise?" And it was piped in, fake clapping and cheering, and we're going, "That's not us."
Especially when there's a song,
Yeah.
one or two songs didn't get much of a reaction in the stadium. You could sort of hear through the speakers there was a
Yeah,
piped in.
they were chucking it in there. Yeah. Oh yeah. But also in the stadium next door, you could drink and eat as much as you want because we did.
Hey.
And also, did you hear that Oben was there and he was on the opposite side of the stadium to us? And who did he stand next to, Phil? By accident, sheer accident.
It was Lee.
Lee.
Hey.
Lee Fern. He was stood
Oh,
next to
wow.
Lee Fern. He sent me a picture and I said, I don't believe it. He sent a picture and he's like, yeah, I'm stood next to Lee by
That's so
complete
cool.
accident.
Yeah.
35,000 people are in that stadium. What are the chances?
Oh, amazing. Alina, what are your thoughts on the winner?
It wasn't my favorite to win. I'm happy that it won. Let's that make clear. I think the whole of Europe was very happy. I made like a relief noise at the same time. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but well deserved. And I'm looking forward to maybe go to I don't know where. I'm hoping it's Vienna. I'm hoping it's I don't know. Is it Vienna? I don't know the English. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I booked an option for a hotel, so I'm hoping that it's the place where I booked the option. But
It probably won't be now because I've got a free accommodation in Vienna. You know what I mean? It never works out for me.
I do have like a side note that I think, Tom, you mentioned the UK, and we didn't really talk about the UK. But as a Flemish Belgian person, I need to say something about the UK, and that took me by surprise. So, my childhood, we had this group that wanted to go to Eurovision but failed terribly, and it became like this children's group. Everyone will know what I'm talking about. It's K3, and we had a musical called The Three Piglets, and the end screen was this. What did the UK do? They just copied my childhood. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm
And
gonna
got
say.
12 points from Italy for it as well. I mean, that's the thing. 12 points from essentially a kids' TV character. I mean, clearly this was solidarity. This was all made up. This was brilliant. Oh, superb. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't
That's
say it the
my
same,
line.
do I, Sean? I don't say it the same. I need to come up with my own catchphrase and not borrow other people's. Right, guys, you are watching ESC Fan TV. We've been autopsying, doing an autopsy of Eurovision 2025. But I think it's time we started to look back at some ESC Fan TV memories. And whilst my panel think of their favourite memory, let's share a moment that I think makes everybody laugh.
Hi ESC Fan TV, I'm definitely not Rayleigh, and I'm here tonight to say a massive thank you for voting for me in the Elliot Harris Best Choreography and Staging Award. Thank you very much for my award.
Look at me go, I don't need a hero.
And this is why we're not allowed to do this anymore.
That was done for charity, but I do believe. If I'm
Charity? What? Christ!
I swear, Steve did it for charity.
No, he didn't.
How
He
much
did
did
it
you raise,
just on a
Stu?
weekend.
I definitely did it for charity. And I must admit, I had to chuck that leotard shortly after. I'm not going to say anything more than that.
Couldn't get the stains out.
See, it's yeah, there have been some great memories. I remember Michelle and Phil dressing up as Montaigne as well for an Australia decides thing. Alas, I've not got a photo of that one. I haven't had time to get that one. But Michelle and Phil, what's your favourite memory of ESC Fan TV?
Michelle having to apologise to Das
Oh,
Sampson.
fuck off! Honestly.
Yes.
Accidentally get shit-faced once when Daz Sampson's on, and then you have to apologise to him, and that's when you realise you've got a problem. Cheers, Phil. Thanks for that. You absolute arse.
Do you know what? I'm really pleased that it was Phil that delivered that one and not us.
Yeah, I'll shuffle later. Don't worry.
Oh. Michelle, do you have an alternative memory you'd like to share with the group?
Yeah, it was when Phil dressed up as it was that mad woman from Ireland.
Brooke.
And you went, oh Jesus, I'm Brooke from Ireland. And I went, no, you can't do that, mate. You're gonna get us cancelled. And you put my hair extensions in and wore a sparkly top.
Oh, was that when I was what's his name?
No, that was when you were Brooke.
Oh no, when I was Gildo Horn.
Oh no, you were also Gildo Horn with the hair extensions in as well. Yeah. And
Another memory was when we had Lindsay Dreckus on. And
I had your underpants on my head.
We were dressed as her rappers. And she said, "Oh, go on, do the rap."
Oh, we don't know
and
it.
We didn't know it, so we did the John Barnes rap from World Emotions. You know that one.
Can't hold it, yeah, but do it.
And then we went, "Oh no, that's the wrong one."
Yeah, we've just.
But you know what? Michelle, she never flinched once.
I know.
She was brilliant.
She was good.
This is not it at all.
Apologise to her.
No, she was absolutely lovely.
She was really good. But we just faked everything. There's no preparation gone into anything. And sometimes I even did this. Do you know what? I did the once. Oh, Jesus, no. I once did the show in just a dressing gown because Stu messaged me, went, we need somebody on now. And I went, I'm in my dressing gown. He went, nobody will notice. And I came on, didn't know what we were doing, just did it in my dressing gown.
Yeah.
That's how professional we are.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, it's been great. It's been great fun.
Sometimes.
Sean, I mean, I'm remembering you with some kind of pink balaclava that was worth about £6.
Frockin' snusk! I got me 99p's worth out of that balaclava, I tell you, from Amazon Prime, free delivery. I've still got that. But yeah, I love that. I've got three that really stick in my mind. I had an inflatable guitar at one point, fooling around with it. It just appeared. I said, well, where did that guitar come from on a song? And then all of a sudden, then I had a guitar, and then I threw it to one side, and I broke my blind. It made a big crashing sound. I don't know if anyone remembers. And I like busted my blind. It cost me 140 quid to get it fixed. But anyway, the scoreboard show from last year, because I put all that together with the graphics and the panelists and the scoreboard. That was a mammoth task, but it was such a good fun show to be part of. And obviously, Michelle co-hosted that with me. You were away where were you? You was in Europe somewhere.
I was in Germany for my birthday.
That's
and
right.
I did it. I had like my laptop on an ironing board.
Yeah. But we had quite a few. It wasn't a live show. But we had a few technical hitches, and it probably took us about 4.5 hours to record the 1 hour show.
And you stitched me up. You stitched me up because you said something about Brenda, and I went, oh, Brenda, I'm from Wales. Oh, you can't do it because you would like doing it. You can't do that. You'll get it cancelled. And you put me on doing it because you're a bastard.
Oh yeah, I edited that in and edited me out.
Stitched right up.
But also, you mentioned Lindsay Dreckas, sharing the panel with Lindsay Dreckas, because that song does mean a lot to me. It's one of my favourite Eurovision songs, No Dream Impossible. I loved that panel. She's such a darling. I love the song to bits, and that meant a lot to me. So yeah, and of course, meeting all you guys, friends for life. This family's just been fucking brilliant. I love it.
Sure. Is there a Redbubble sale on now? 40% off.
There's up to 40% off. Yeah. Martin Ostrich Doll suggests that you buy something before tomorrow when the sale ends.
How's your gran? How's your nan?
Have you plugged her yet?
Is she dead yet? Have you flogged her?
Sorry, back to you, Tom.
Yeah. Do you know, I'm going to go to Eline next, I think. Eline, favourite memories of ESC Fan TV?
It's too hard to pick. Like from random guys walking through a room and the whole panel looking like, is he half naked? To with discussions with Gustav and Elliot about whose music taste was wrong, to me and Jeanette mentioning Erexide every chance we can get, and I did again. So it's like every show that I did, so I'm very proud of that. But it's just like these small little things we did through every show, like technical malifications, I think it's called. Like it's just what made ESC Fan TV, and I think that's that stings.
Oh, I'm gonna go to Donna and Ian as well.
Now I've stopped laughing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think one of the highlights been some of the Sanremo shows at 2 o'clock in the morning, which people actually tuned into, which is quite remarkable. And quite remarkable we managed to do a coherent show at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, there's been a lot of fun stuff. Terry coming on the show and then freeze framing for the entire show because his iPad screwed up. Just a lot of the nonsense. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, the whole stuff through lockdown.
Yeah.
And the way it brought people together over that, through some of the nonsense, and then through 2021 where we still weren't really back. But I think that was probably the biggest highlight. It's probably the biggest legacy as well.
Well, yeah, it certainly
the
is for me.
friendships that were created, but yeah, all that.
I've now got a cupboard full of wigs because of this. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
It could be worse. It could be worse. You could have Sean's cupboard.
Very true. But then I'd know what was in it, wouldn't I?
Which cupboard there?
We should come back for a special called Sean's Cupboard.
What's in Sean's cupboard? No, honestly, every show's really had a hoot in one way or another, and yeah, there's been so many great memories. I mean, I never even thought I would interview half the people that I've interviewed. Even getting press pass as well was amazing. You know, seeing that side of things, how it operates as well, has been brilliant. And just being on the panel as well, from a technical point of view, it actually really helped me do interviews and interview skills, you know. So I've learned a lot by just being here. Not as I probably see it on the show like this, you know, because wonderfully professional. But yeah, it was good fun. And yeah, the Rayleigh moment is still a highlight, I have to confess. So I'm really glad that one made a reappearance, never to be seen again.
Something else never made a reappearance.
It took a lot to dig that one out of the archive.
Ian, it was a cold day, all right? It was a cold day.
Can I just say, also, I watched I think it was it must have been just after lockdown. I watched a Zubzy Dub thing on the internet, where press conference thing that I was on. And the man from Zubzy Dub came to me first, and he sang "My Michelle" by the Beatles to me. So that's pretty cool, to be fair. And I also convinced, I can't remember his name, Stu. Do you remember we interviewed a bloke, Stu, who had been on wherever he was from? He'd been from the X Factor. He got stranded in America during COVID.
The Romanian guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was desperate to be on Eurovision.
Anders Baggers or something.
Oh, something Baggers it was. Yeah, something Baggers. And I said to him, I noticed that you played.
Anders Baggers was from Melody Festival.
I said, I noticed you played the saxophone, you know, like, and he said, "Oh yeah, I do." I said, "Oh, have you ever thought about doing that at Eurovision, singing and playing the saxophone together?" And he was like, "Oh no, I haven't." And then he went to the national final, and he sang and he played the bloody saxophone. Oh Jesus, it was awful, absolutely. Oh my God, it was awful, and I think I might have ruined that bloke's life by sort of suggesting it, because it was shockingly bad. So I can only apologise, Anders Baggers. Sorry,
it wasn't
mate.
Anders Baggers.
What was he?
What was his name?
Anders Baggers was in Melody Festival about 3 years ago.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if it was him, because he was all over the bloody place.
Somebody else then.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've ruined his life. It's over now.
It was.
We'll just leave it.
Guys,
Goodbye.
we'll be back for a few more memories, but Elliot's just sent me over another video, and I'm going to play it because why not? Let's have a look.
Hi there, it's Martin from Let Me Be the One Eurovision radio show and long-time contributor to ESC Fan TV, who thought it would still all be going from the day at the Eurovision in Concert promo event in 2018, where Stuart asked to test his camera and make me say something to the camera for him to have a look at, and it ended up being an audition piece, because then I ended up being in episode 1, and I'll be in the last episode of ESC Fan TV. Well done to everyone, you guys, for keeping it going so long, putting out such great content, getting to go to Eurovision press events in 2019 and being online in 2021, and so many different episodes, Retrovision, monitoring national finals, monitoring Eurovision itself, and it's been a great show. And it's a shame to see it all finish, but you guys have kept it going for so long, put so much effort into it, that I'm sure everybody who's been watching over the years fully appreciates this, as do I, getting the free plugs every single time I was on as well. So thank you for that. And here's to everybody who's been doing ESC Fan TV. I'm sure everybody appreciates what you guys have done in the past. So thank you very much.
Oh, that was lovely. Was that Martin from Let Me Be the One radio show?
Let Me Be the One blog and radio show, to be fair.
Pod and radio show. It's a podcast as well as a radio show. Let me be the one.
Where can you find all these podcasts and radio shows?
Bradley Stoke Radio, 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. So I'm told. That's
9 p.m. Central European time.
That's the one. That is the one.
Can I just say, Tom, despite what Martin just said there, I did not under any circumstance ask him to touch my camera. Just want that to be absolutely clarified, because it is not true. I deny all allegations. Back with you.
So what did you want him to touch then if it wasn't your camera?
Guys, I'm going to share some of my favorite memories, because I feel like everyone else has. I mean, from what started off as a conversation in a bar watching, I think, a German national final. Stu, am I right in that? I think that's when we first kind of met and was discussing about stuff, and for what it became. I shared something on the chat the other day about tell me you're in lockdown without being in lockdown, and it was basically an advert for a week's worth of ESC Fan TV stuff, because during lockdown, literally we were churning out material pretty daily. I think is the best word to put it, because there wasn't a lot else going on. I've interviewed the Rasmus, I've interviewed Sam Ryder, I've interviewed Michael Rice, and lots of other Eurovision celebrities, including Nikki French, which was a personal highlight of mine, because that's kind of like one of the times I really became into Eurovision. And guys, you're kind of like my Eurovision family. And it's going to be, the thing is, it's not goodbye, is it? It's au revoir, because we're all still going to be chatting and talking, and I'll be on a dance floor somewhere waving a coffee cup at Donna, going "Mi amore," singing a song she totally despises, and even sending her memes now on Instagram about Tommy Cash, which she's loving. as she tells me every time she responds. Those swear words are surely signs of love.
Even found a cosplayer at Comic-Con as well in London. Would you believe? He's going to haunt me forever.
Also, I can't thank Phil, Michelle, and Sean enough for the work that they've put in over the last 2 years as well, in terms of keeping everything going, of finding people for shows, of doing these absolutely fantastic, marvelous, wonderful graphics that, quite frankly, I don't think Stu and I had the time, or, to be fair, the expertise to do. And for Michelle's absolutely boundless enthusiasm, jumping onto TikTok and everything, and just kind of galvanizing everything. It has made the show what it is today, and I love everyone here, and also the people watching because of it. And I've met so many people because of it as well. Those people that come up to you and go, "Hey, you Tom? Oh, we watch ESC Fan TV," and Michelle as well. I think I can't remember. Was it Mick Ward? I think is someone who's a panelist who was a fan of ESC.
He was a fan. He's the first person we saw with an ESC Fan TV T-shirt on.
He was. Yeah. We played Who Can We Palm Mick Off On? Because Stu came up, palmed Mick off on us. I came up to us. We palmed him off on Georgina, and we played Let's See How Far We Can Get Mick around the room.
But it's been so great meeting Mick. He's absolutely lovely.
He's staying at our house next weekend. He's here. He's going to
Me too.
One Donna and Ian. Everyone's on.
Yeah. Michelle and Phil are having a party. If you can find their house, feel free to join in.
Can I just give you one last giggle, because I just giggled away a few minutes ago, and I thought that it looked like that thing behind Eline's head growing out of her head.
No, it looks like you've got a lovely kind of like feather headdress going on.
Just move to the left a bit.
To be fair, it could have been. He was calling an angel.
It's Texas wings.
I would like to say thank you to Tom and to Stu, and to Donna and Ian, to Eline, to Sean, not to Phil because he's a bit of a wanker sometimes, to be fair. To Oben, to everybody. Do you know what? To everybody that's been on ESC Fan TV. If it wasn't for you lot, I wouldn't have touched a Jedward twice. I wouldn't have touched me a Johnny Logan, and Monzermolo, even though he's a bit of an arse now, he touched my face there and my legs went weak, and Phil went, "Fucking get a grip, will you?" Without you lot, moments like that wouldn't have happened. Elliot, thank you, Elliot. During lockdown, me and Elliot did a virtual press, and he was my press husband and remembered everything that I couldn't remember, and reminded me that when the shit axe came on, I had to have the flapjack. So without, stuff like that. Oh, you lot are absolute arseholes sometimes, but I absolutely love each and every one of you. And at some point, I've had to ring all of you up and shout at you. But it's been absolutely fine. I love everybody, and we are going to keep in touch. We're just not going to do it in private. Not for all these lot. It's none of their business what we do in private. Ask Sean in his cupboard.
However, if you want to relive the good times, all the material is staying online. We might not be doing another live show, but all the shows are going to be there. If you want to look at, I looked again at Retrovision 97 today, just because I was going to look at the clip of Stu singing Prima Donna again, which was my backup if Rayleigh had failed. To be fair, Stu, just so you're aware. I was also been reminded in the chat of the time that I kept on getting Eline and Elena mixed up. Much to everyone's great hilarity, because no one took the mickey out of that for me, did they, Stu? No, I'm just remembering a video clip of that. Stu, any final thoughts?
There's one thing it kind of went a little bit viral that we haven't even mentioned tonight. I'll just say one sentence to you, because I think you want this as a last memory. Tank it into us. Go ahead.
Yeah. That just about sums up ESC Fan TV.
No, it makes me want to punch kittens.
Seriously, it's been an absolute ball. I had no idea back in 2018, with sitting there with Michelle, with Ness, with Martin, doing a show about Israeli kebabs. That 6.5 years later, we'd still be doing this and have worked with people around the world. And seriously, we've had people from the US, from the Philippines, from Australia, from Central Europe, everywhere. It feels like everywhere. We've gone global over 6.5 years. This is not the end. This is really not the end. It may be the end of these live shows, but we are, without using a cliche, a family, a community. Come and say hi next time you see us at shows.
No, don't.
At live performances. Try and touch Michelle. She loves that.
No.
Buy her
Do
a
not
drink
approach
first.
me.
Especially
No.
her hair.
No, do not approach me. Do not touch my hair.
And I just want to say to everyone involved in the channel, whether you're a member of the panel, whether you help behind the scenes, because we have plenty of them, whether you just watch the show, comment. Some don't comment. You know, we've got nearly 200 people, but not everyone's commenting. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you. It's been a real pleasure and lifetime memories. So thank you.
Oh, and guys, I do believe on that note, it's time for us to say And on that note, guys, it really is. Goodbye.
Goodbye.